I was sipping chamomile tea, cross-checking delivery times for the hydrangeas and silk linens Megan had insisted on. My phone buzzed on the counter. I didn't think twice, probably the bakery confirming the updated cake design. But when I unlocked the screen, it was from Megan. Double quotes, "Hey, so things are tight with the venue. There's no place for you at the wedding anymore. Sorry." No exclamation point. No explanation. Just that. I reread it 4 times. My fingers went numb. My name is Clara Bennett. I'm 28, an event planner with a growing reputation in my own business. I've coordinated corporate galas, political fundraisers, and to celebrity weddings. But this, Megan's wedding? This was personal. I built it from scratch free of charge. Every vendor, every consultation, every tasting. I even pulled strings to get her dream venue at half the price. And now I wasn't invited. I called her straight to voicemail. I texted back, trying to keep my tone steady. Did I read that right? You're uninviting me from your wedding. No reply. I drove to my parents' house, stomach churning. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe Megan was stressed, or drunk, or joking. My mom opened the door in her usual silk robe and cucumber mask like it was any other Tuesday. I held out the phone, my voice trembling. "Did you know about this?" She gave a slow blink. "It's her big day, Clara. Try not to make it about you." That's when something inside me cracked. All I've done is make this about her. I planned this entire wedding. Mom shrugged. "But you didn't contribute financially. You offered to help, right? So now don't act surprised." My father barely looked up from his newspaper. "Let's not start drama, honey." I stared at my own parents like they were strangers. Megan hadn't even sent the message herself. She'd made her planner in person. That night, I sat on my bed surrounded by checklists, fabric samples, and invoices. My laptop pinged with a florist email asking if Megan wanted peonies or ranunculus. I didn't answer. I just stared at the screen and thought, they really think I'm nothing but a helping hand. They really think I won't push back. They don't know me at all. I waited 3 days before confronting Megan. Not because I needed time, but because I wanted to face her without shaking. When she finally picked up, she answered like nothing had happened. "Hey, what's up? What's up?" I repeated. "You uninvited me from the wedding." With a text, she sighed like I was a stubborn child. "Clara, don't be dramatic. The venue changed layouts. We had to cut the list." I laughed sharp and humorless. "I am the list. I booked every vendor. I designed your Pinterest board into a ballroom." She scoffed. "You offered. You were so excited. I assumed it was a gift. You never asked to be paid." "Megan," I said slowly, "you asked me to do it. I said yes because you're my sister, because I thought that we'd owe you forever." She snapped. "You've always had this complex, Clara. Just because you work behind the scenes doesn't mean everyone has to bow down." That's when I realized it wasn't just the wedding. Megan had always seen me as support staff, the unpaid intern of the family. I tried one last time. Went to our parents for a conversation I already knew the outcome of. Mom was in the garden, trimming dead heads off her roses like she was born royalty. Megan told me she sees my work as a gift. I said, "Do you agree?" She didn't even look up. "You're good at what you do, Clara, but sometimes you hold on to things too tightly. It's a wedding, not a war." Dad chimed in from the porch. "You know how Megan gets when she's stressed." "You're really defending this?" I asked. "She's the bride." My mother said simply, "Don't ruin her moment." The final slap came 2 days later. Megan texted again, not to apologize, but to ask, "Hey, can you still send final payments to the florist? And I'm organizing a surprise housewarming gift for us. Can you contribute? Maybe something big from your business account." I stared at my phone, my blood boiling. She wanted my money. My name on the vendor checks, my professional goodwill without me. I typed back, "No, you removed me from the wedding. You don't get my services or my money. Ask one of your bridesmaids." Then I sat on my couch, still, silent, not sad anymore, just done. I had bent myself into silence for years. Called it love, called it family, but what they'd really loved was what I could do for them, not who I was. And I wasn't going to fund their fantasy anymore. The bridal shower photos hit Instagram on a Sunday afternoon. I was curled up on the couch with a blanket and a book when my phone buzzed again. And again. Tag after tag. The venue in the background made my stomach twist. It was the exact place I had suggested months ago, tucked away in wine country, rustic charm with string lights and reclaimed wood tables. I clicked on the post. There they were, Megan, her bridesmaids, the cake I had designed with the baker, the peony arrangements I had fought to get within budget. All of it, mine. All of it, without me. And then I saw the caption, surrounded by my team. Couldn't have planned a more perfect day. I stared at it. A dash team. I wasn't just excluded, I had been replaced, erased. The dresses I helped pick out, worn by women who barely knew Megan. The drinks menu, one I had curated myself during a wine tasting Megan skipped. I was watching my own work unfold like a stranger, as if I never existed. That night, I didn't cry. I poured a glass of wine, opened my laptop, and made a list, a clear, precise one, not out of revenge, out of clarity. The same way I plan weddings, the same way I save my clients from logistical disasters. Item 1, all vendor contracts were under my name. Item 2, deposits were made from my business account. Item 3, no final payments had been issued yet. Item 4, Megan couldn't access a single one without me. I had power. Real, documented, legal power. For a moment, I almost felt guilty. But then I remembered Megan's voice, mocking, superior. You were just helping. You didn't pay for anything. Don't ruin her moment. No, I wasn't going to ruin anything. But I was done fixing things for people who treated me like a tool, a shadow, an employee. That night, I texted my friend Sarah, an attorney. Hey, need to double-check some contract details with you. Just want to make sure I'm protected before I pull the plug. She replied 5 minutes later. You're more than protected. You hold everything. For the first time in weeks, I slept deeply, and in the morning, I got to work. It was exactly 10 days before the wedding when Megan finally called me, not to apologize, not to make things right. No. She was crying. The band canceled, she wailed. They said something about unpaid deposits and no signed agreement. Clara, I need you to fix this, please. I stared at my phone, listening to her sob like the victim in a tragedy she created. I'm not involved in the wedding, I said calmly. Per your text, come on, Clara. Don't be petty. I didn't mean you couldn't help, just that we didn't have space for guests who aren't, like, part of the main event. You mean part of your team. She went silent. I'm done, Megan, I said. You chose this, so live with it. I hung up. 3 hours later, I finalized and scheduled 4 emails, one to the florist, one to the caterer, one to the venue, and one to the linen rental company. All contracts were officially canceled. Refunds, where applicable, were processed back to my business account. The following morning, the chaos began. Mom called first, voice tight and angry. What did you do? The venue says the event is off. Check the contracts, I said. They're in my name. You're sabotaging your own sister's wedding. No, I said. I'm just withdrawing services. I was never respected. 4. You can call it whatever you want. By evening, Megan was screaming into my voicemail. You destroyed everything. You're sick. You did this out of spite. No, I did it out of clarity. On the morning of what would have been the wedding, I was at the airport, a suitcase by my side, a boarding pass to Maui in hand. I never looked at their social media again. Never picked up another call. Because once you learn how good freedom feels, it's impossible to go back to chains, even the ones dressed up like family.